Hi, we're here with Digi Chivetta, who is a illustrator, fine artist, mural painter, fabric artist. I don't know. You tell me what do you want to highlight? Multifaceted artist.
Yes, I'm a multidisciplinary artist, and I would, if I was to describe myself with one word, I would describe myself as a griot. In my culture, griots are are storytellers. Think of like jesters, people who came to court to entertain people. They're always people who had the songs and dances and costumes and stuff like that, and they were the ones that carried stories through
Right, like
generations.
they were sometimes like politicians in a way.
Yeah, exactly. They would talk about politics and culture, and they had a lot of power in
In medieval
changing.
times and different
Yeah,
cultures. I think it's true too of artists though, and especially mural painters and large scale visual artists, is that we're carrying stories forward. We're putting stories out into the zeitgeist for everybody to see.
exactly. And we're part of the community. It's not like being in a gallery where people have to choose to come to the gallery to see your work. You're part of people's everyday lives. You're part of the community. You're part of the energy of the city.
Right?
It's a completely
Do
different
you
experience.
do you want to talk a little bit about the Abolitionist Park murals?
Yes, I painted a mural in the Abolitionist Park. It's 6 panels, and the composition is filled with the Gungun masquerade dancers. A lot of people ask me about the figures because a Gungun masquerade dancers, their costumes cover them head to toe. So if you're unfamiliar with the imagery, it's kind of hard to even make sense of like, oh, this is the person, where's the head, where's the feet? So it's been really exciting for me to introduce Yoruba Orisha culture to Fitchburg, and also to give Black children something beautiful and vibrant to look at, to associate with their ancestors. Because when I was growing up, my sister and I were the only two Black kids in the entire school, and whenever we would have exhibits, whenever we had lessons about slavery, all of the images were always enslaved people in chains being tortured.
Like rather than empowered people.
Exactly. It's like all of their culture and personality was still stripped from them, and all that we were seeing was the cruelty that was inflicted on them.
Well, it's one of the things that I love about the Abolitionist Park murals is that it acknowledges the history, not just of slavery, but the history of the abolitionist movement, of the people, both colored people and white people, who helped to stop slavery and worked on the Underground Railroad and spoke out and were activists. People like Frederick Douglass, who I know is represented there, and then our local poets, Carolyn Mason and the Snow family, people who helped make that change happen.
Exactly, and I also wanted to tie the composition into present day. So you'll see that all of the white figures in the composition are on the outside and they're holding hands, and it's it's a reference to the white shields at Black Lives Matter protests, because the fight is still going on today. It's changed, we're fighting for different things, but although we've gotten rid of the physical chains, there's still a lot of mental and emotional chains that people of color are still living with.
I feel like there's um, ancestral trauma that we hold in our bodies.
Definitely.
And, for me, I'm not Black, but having been raised in a Jewish family and dealing with things like the Holocaust, and knowing that's a lot of my family was killed. And it's the same thing with slavery. You personally haven't been a slave, but you hold that within your body. And yeah, I think that's a hard thing. And it's good to have the conversations and to be able to give, like you said, give people, especially children, something more elevated to look up and be hopeful for. And I would also love to talk about, I know that you are doing a residency at the Fitchburg Art Museum right now.
Yes, I am.
Want to tell us about that?
The residency is in conjunction with an organization called Where Are All the Black People At? And so there are mentors and mentees, so they're more established artists who are the mentors, and then they chose their mentees. The mentors have been in the residency since, I want to say September of last year, but my mentor just chose me in December. So for the exhibition, we're responding to the African art collection at FAM. And I'm going to be doing performance art for the first time, which is really exciting and a little bit nerve-wracking.
Oh, very cool.
It's like a continuation of my work at the Abolitionist Park, because I'm actually going to be in a Gungun masquerade dancer.
How wonderful.
So yeah, I'm excited about that.
When is it happening?
The opening is on October 21st, so mark your calendars.
Excellent. And how long is it going to run for?
Oh, I think it's running for 3 months. I'm not sure right now, actually.
Cool, but people can look at the Fitchburg Art Museum website and find out all that information.
Yeah, they're working on press releases right now, so those should be coming out soon.
Excellent. And I would love to know a little bit about what drives you creatively. What is your biggest inspiration for your art?
Well, my spirituality is a major inspiration. Yoruba Orisha, African art and spirituality are very closely related. It's interesting. Language and art are so connected in Yoruba culture that anything that can be spoken can also be represented visually. For example, the word owe, it's like a metaphor or a proverb, but also images can be owe. So what owe is a way to understand very complex concepts. Those concepts we would call oro. These are all of the knowledge of the world that came down from heaven before humans were put on the earth. So then once humans were put on the earth, then owe was invented so that we could understand oro, because the human brain can't understand oro on its own. We need to translate it into words or pictures to understand it. So yeah, that's what drives me, that the richness of that culture, and that's also how I live my life. Every time I have new experiences or learn something new, I always try to find a way to incorporate it into my life, and the process of incorporating that into myself and into my life is always some kind of artistic process for me.
So you're embodying your art,
yes,
in a way.
Exactly.
It's sort of...
Oh, like the symbol that's on my shirt. This is called the wizard's head. This is my interpretation of the wizard's head. So every 16 days we get an Odu, which is kind of like analogous to a verse from the Bible. And each Odu has an orientation, it's either negative or positive, and you also get a symbol that goes along with it. So this is, the wizard's head is one of the symbols that can come with an Odu. And
it looks like an owl to me.
yes, it's a owl with 3 faces and 6 eyes over a crescent moon.
Oh, and that's very, very cool. It
represents clairvoyance.
Nice, nice. So where can people find you and find out more about you, like in social media land?
Oh, you can find me on Facebook and Instagram. I'm Digi Chivetta. You can also go to my website, digichivetta.com.
And that's DIGICHIVETTA.
Yep.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.